All right, we are recording. So we only have, what is the date today? Is it it's the first, huh? So we only have a couple more Zooms. This group, when we started in March. I think it was March, like 21st, 22nd, 23rd, somewhere in there. So we will actually have a Zoom next week and a Zoom the week after, and then we will wrap up the following Monday. We'll go through like everything you accomplished in the last 3 months. So to push us to the 20, could someone tell me dates right now? Is it 8/15? Is it 22nd? Is the 22nd a Monday? Yes? Okay. So on the 22nd, I want to do a last final push, and the push is for all of you who's starting today, June 1st through June 22nd, enroll 4 new coaches, 1 new Emerald, and are a Diamond coach or higher. So you can be Diamond, you can be Star Diamond. If you're already Diamond, great, but you still need to enroll 4 new coaches, 1 new Emerald to your team, and I'll be giving away 5 $50 gift cards for anyone who does that. Now here's the kicker. If you are the only person that does that, you get $250 gift card. If you are the only person who does that, you get a $250 gift card. There are only 2 of you, then you each get $125 in gift cards. But there are 5 gift cards to give away. So if 5 of you do it, all 5 of you would get a $50 gift card. If 10 of you do it, then it'll be a drawing. So 5 out of 10 would get a $50 gift card. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions? Did I miss anything? Okay. So basically $250 is up for grabs if you are the only one that does it. And you have 22 days to make it happen. So that's super exciting. The other thing is, and just to confirm, you have to be a Diamond coach. So that means you need 4 new coaches, 1 new Emerald, and you must be a minimum of a Diamond coach. If you're already Diamond, you're already there. You just need the 4 new coaches and the 1 new Emerald. And we have, Kiley's going to be jumping on. She forgot, and so she should be here in just a couple of minutes. For June, I put up a post in the team page about your goals for June. I highly recommend sharing on that. And the reason why is I would share and then tag your coaches that are building the business, because that'll help. We were just talking about this on the Diamond and Above Zoom. We have a Diamond and Above Zoom right before this. So if you are Diamond and you want to jump on that, that's every week at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And if you advance to Diamond, you can also reach out to me, make sure I know, and I can add you to that. But helping your coaches see a vision, like something that I'm not sharing a lot publicly, I'm sharing a little bit, but mostly behind the scenes with you guys, is that we are looking at different lots right now in the country to buy a couple acres and build a house for us, and then build a guest house for my mom. And most people know that part, but they don't know why. And I don't share it publicly because I don't want to embarrass my mom. But she lives in a place where there are literally rats in the ceilings. There are holes in the floor. It's really embarrassing, and like no one should be living in those conditions. So I don't want to share that publicly because I don't want to embarrass her, but I've been sharing that a lot behind the scenes, and that really helps a lot of my newer coaches to have a bigger vision beyond just earning Success Club or getting to Diamond or Star Diamond. Like, why are they continuing to show up? And one of my new coaches shared with me, she's like, my husband left, and I'm raising my son by myself, and I'm renting, and I want us to have a space to call our own. And so by me sharing my mom's story, that helped her to grow her vision. And even if there are things that you can't share publicly because you don't want to embarrass people, you can still share it privately with your team to help them build their vision. So definitely share your goals, what those are, in that post in Ignite, because when you share it publicly, it confirms like what you're going after. And there's something about that. I used to do it every single day. I would write down my top goals for the month, for the year. Like, I have a vision that I write down every day. I want to have 10,000 people on our team. That's one of my first goals, is to get our team to 10,000 people. And when it's there, I want it to be 25,000. When I was in a mastermind, there was a guy that had been with his company for 25 years, and he had a team of 100,000 people, and my mind was blown. And I'm like, if we had 100,000 people, that would be so many people getting healthier and happier and living just vibrant life. And so I want that. Like, I think of that, like 10,000 is the like near future 2021 goal, but I think of that 100,000, like that's where my mind goes. And I want like the Real People, Real Results group I have to have 10,000 people in it too. I want to be able to go into that group and post that I'm doing a 3-day refresh and just have a bunch of people go and order 3-day refresh because they want to do it with me. So having like those visions beyond some of your rank goals and things, and sharing what that means to you, what that means for your family, and why you want those things. So when I post in the team page about what are your goals for the month, make sure you're sharing that, because your coaches, if you want them to have the goal of emerald, of diamond, of 5-star, of superstar diamond, it starts with you having those goals first and then knowing what those goals are. So make sure you guys are sharing that. Let me see if she is jumping on. I send her the link again. I think that's all I have for you. Oh, Court is on, but Court and I are going to be doing a group in June. It'll start June 8th, so it'll start next Monday. There's actually going to be a buy-in for this one. It'll be a $25 buy-in. I'm a little fuzzy on the details. It's going to be called Built to Last. So we're going to teach you beyond diamond, like how to grow your team, how to create depth, how to create income so that you have a business for the long haul. So we'll be diving into a lot of volume talk, and then we'll have some parameters of how to earn that cash pot back. So look for details on that. And Kiley's on with us now, so I can stop buying time and chatting. But I'm gonna have Kiley start with, I really want her to share her story in a little bit more depth, but she was an emerald, what'd you say, for like a year and a half?
Yeah, about a year.
And then she just made the decision, and we talked about this a lot. Diamond is a mindset. It's a decision. It's making that decision, committing to it, and going all in. Katie Garbett and I were just talking about this on the leader Zoom right beforehand, Diamond and Above Zoom. She was like, I used to think diamond's hard, and now I'm like, oh, I can do this. I can make diamond happen in a month, no problem. So I love that Kiley made that decision. She went diamond in August, and now here 2019, and here we are in 2020, and she's 5-star diamond qualifying. So I'm going to have her share her story, like what was that, what spurred the decision to like go all in, and then I'm going to ask her some questions about her processes so that you guys can get some help on how do you go to 5-star diamond in the next few months. To help you see that it really is possible. And then if you guys have questions, just post them in the chat and I'll make sure to ask those questions as well. So Kiley, thank you so much for taking time, and congrats on 5-star qualifying, super exciting. But we'll just have you start with sharing your story. Like, why did you become a coach? Why were you excited about it? And what made you go all in that last August?
Thanks, Christy. Thanks so much for having me. So I'm Kiley. Like Christy said, I'm currently in 5-star quals, and I became a coach on Courtney's team in August, the very end of August 2018. And the time that I started coaching is very different from the time that I committed to coaching. So like I said, I signed up with Courtney at the end of August in 2018. When I was a newlywed, my husband is active duty Army, so we live in Germany currently. We had just gotten married. He left for 5 months, came back, we picked up and moved to Germany, and there weren't jobs over here, so I was working remotely in marketing, which I did not love, and also just to cover bills because we were in debt from the wedding and being young and all of the things. So I picked up a second job, bartending nights and weekends at a German dive bar off base, which I did not love. I did not love that at all. I was away from my husband the only times that he was home, nights and weekends, and was just not being fulfilled. I was also in school full time, and then this coaching thing fell into my lap. I literally came across Courtney, still to this day, don't know how, maybe the explore page, something magical like that. But I knew that I already loved fitness. I loved what it did for my mental health. I'm in the Army Reserve, so I went through basic training, and during that time, I kind of grew in some confidence. I knew what I was capable of, knew how good challenging myself was for my mental health, for anxiety, for depression. Enjoyed working out with my husband, but at the time, if he was not going to the gym with me, I was not going to the gym. So I was very inconsistent, had absolutely no idea what I was doing with nutrition, but really wanted to get into it. So I saw this coaching thing. Courtney made one of those posts like, I'm looking for 5 coaches to mentor, to do what I do, X, Y, and Z. This is my life. And I was like, wow, like this is not real. Like this looks amazing. So I literally messaged her and I was like, me, please me. Like I need anything in my life to change right now. She sent me the link and I was like, ooh, I didn't realize that it was Beachbody. And I didn't realize that it was $170. And I was like, maybe not. The next day I went to the grocery store and cried in the checkout line because I didn't know if I had the $80 or $90 in my bank account to cover groceries. And I said, I'm working these 2 jobs that I absolutely hate, that are taking me away from my husband, yet I still don't know, if my bills are going to be covered. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And my husband said, you know what? Like your credit card's almost maxed out anyway. We're not doing so hot anyway. What's the worst thing that could happen? You pay for some cool workout programs and you meet some cool women. Like you're already blowing all of our money on these other workout things that you're trying anyway. So what's the worst that could happen? And I was like, ooh, okay, you're right. So I signed up and hit Success Club, did the whole Success Starters thing, hit Emerald, was barely skimming by for a long time, was like just hitting Success Club, wasn't really diving into all of the trainings, was posting my workouts, was posting on social media and doing those kinds of things, but was not consistent, was not tracking my invites, was not inviting every single day, and wasn't taking the business anywhere. So from August, fast forward until June or July, I was going through a really hard time in my life, and ended up, I was staying with my parents back in the States for a while. I was still working on the German time zone, so I was getting up at 2:30 in the morning. I was armying full time. After that, so I'd get up, work my German job, army full time, come home, do my schoolwork, coach, and go to bed. I was very, very busy, but I realized I'm putting this time and effort into coaching and I'm not doing what I should be with it. Like I knew that. And I don't know what it was. I can't pinpoint a specific call or live training that I watched, but I remember sitting at my parents' counter saying, what am I doing? Like I am sitting on gold right here. Like this could be so much and I'm just sitting on it. Like I need to do something. And in about 2 weeks after that, I went diamond. And like during those 18, 19-hour work days that I was putting in, decided to go diamond. And then still, I was more consistent, but I wasn't doing as much as I should. For whatever reason, the pieces weren't clicking. And I would say whenever we did some diamond push group that we paid to be a part of, and we had to get on a call every week or every other week and grade ourselves, I was like, no way am I getting on in front of these women and giving myself a 5 out of 10 every week. Like that's embarrassing, not doing that. I'm filling out this whole tracker every day, all day. Courtney told me to go 1 star by this date. And I kind of was like, yeah, okay, like sure, we'll go 1 star. Yeah, we could do that. And then it was just a mindset shift of, okay, but like I decided to go diamond a month and a half ago. Why can't I build another diamond? Like, why can't I do that? So we did it. We went through quals, made it through quals, helped get my husband to diamond. And really and that's where the mindset came in of, okay, we're moving forward and I'm not moving back. Like I'm not going backwards. This is it. I'm deciding right now to move this business forward. I'm going to try to get where I want to go as quickly as I can get there. But at this point, I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to get there. And decided during 1-star quals to push for 2-star. Went in 2-star quals, finished that out, and went to NLC and really was like, okay, I'm looking around at all these successful coaches. They've built themselves to 1 or 2 star and beyond. And it was a really life-changing experience. It was a business shifting experience that I went through there, watching these other coaches walk the stage and speak to us, coaches who once sat in our seats. And I remember looking around, and I like cried multiple times at NLC. I was like very emotional. I was like, how am I here? This company is so amazing. And remember texting my husband and telling him, I want that stage. He said, well, go take it. And I said, I'm serious. There are 400 other coaches here right now saying that they're going to do it. And I don't want to be a coach that just says I'm going to do it. I want to actually do it. And I don't know if you guys noticed the trend here, but every step of the way, every step towards success started with that mindset, with that decision to just go for it, to just do it. And that has really been the driving force in my business. It's in my Instagram. My girls on my team say it all the time. Kiley is no excuses. There's no excuses. I'm not going to accept excuses. I'm not going to accept failure. I'm going to keep moving my business forward. Because if anyone else can, why can't I? And I think that's a really big question that you have to ask yourself in this business. Are you willing to knock yourself down a peg and say that for whatever reason, you're not good enough to hit goals that other people are hitting? Because I'm not. Like, I'm not going to say that, because I've told myself that my whole life. And this is one thing, just like my fitness journey, that is so good for my mental health, because that is something in my life that I can control. In a whole sea of uncontrollables, my health and my fitness and what I put into my body and the action that I take every single day is something that I can control. And the same stands true for this business. So again, it's really that mindset to stop giving yourself a way out and to stop sitting on gold. Because that's really, what I did for almost a year in this business. And if I can commit to coaching in August as a emerald or brand new diamond and talk to you guys on June 1st as a 5-star diamond qualifying coach, why can't you guys do that? There's no reason. I'm not special. I'm not better than anybody else. It just takes consistency, and it takes that decision within yourself to dig deep and just do it, no matter how long it takes, no matter the hurdles that you have to overcome. That very first decision for me to hit diamond was during one of the lowest points in my life. But that was one thing that I could cling to and control and see results from my own hard work. So all of that wrapped up to say, any step forward in this business has been a decision. That's it.
Okay, one of the biggest questions I get, and as a new 5-star diamond qualifying, probably something you thought about in the beginning, how have you attracted builders to your team? What do you think the switch was there? People that want to
hard. It's hard. I'm not going to lie to you. We are in 5-star quals, and it's still hard. But it takes you going first and you showing other people what's possible. And honestly, I tell my new coaches this, especially if you're a new coach, so many people start this business and walk away, or they don't do anything with it. People are watching. People are waiting to see what you're going to do. They're waiting to see if you're going to be consistent, if you're going to be extraordinary, or if you're going to be average like everybody else. That you have to build that trust. And there are girls, literally, I signed up as a coach over a year and a half ago. I don't even know how long now. And I have girls coming to me who followed me that long and ghosted me every single month that I have invited them, saying, okay, I've been watching you for this long now, and I'm curious. And some of them even are boot campers who I told before. My newest diamond, she was a boot camper way back when, and I knew that she would be an amazing coach. And she straight up ghosted me, like even as a client, for a year, and would kind of hit me up sometimes, respond to a casual check-in like, hey, how are you? But never anything like, are we still doing a program? Like, I'd love for you to hop back in on boot camp this month. Like, where are you? Hey, hi, hello, it is me. And May 4th, she texted me. Not only was she getting back into her program, but she's like, hey, I'm coaching. What do I need to do? I was like, okay, welcome. And like 17 days later, she hit diamond. Because same thing, she decided, and she told me as she was watching and creeping the whole time, seeing me change, seeing me bring on girls who have become my best friends, going and meeting my best friends in person, and actually taking this business somewhere. And then also just showing up the whole way authentically and sharing the highs and the lows. And when I say sharing the lows, I mean sharing the lows in like a productive, positive manner, like showing how you're overcoming lows. And it was one of my posts where I was talking about like my anxiety and my depression and how good this has been for my mental health, that stability and the community, and really having a job that forces you to be better. And I wrote a post about that, and she said that was it. Like, she was going through some hard times. She's like, well, okay. And it's kind of just pouring that belief and that mindset into other people of, if I can, why can't you? And I'm very like, it may not be your style, but my style is very say it as it is, I guess. And I'll say that all the time. What are your excuses? I have all of your excuses. And if I can, what's holding you back? You're the only thing. So I think just sharing authentically every piece of the journey, being consistent, sharing your success and others' success, not only how you're bringing yourself success, but how you're bringing other people. And if you don't have a big team yet, talk about what your team is doing, what Christy's team is doing. Celebrate every single win, because people are watching. They want to know what you're doing with this. And then they're like, oh, wait, Kiley's getting results, but she's also getting Chelsea results. And who is this Courtney person that she says is like her best friend? Like, what is this? They're all in California together. What are they doing? And those people, if they're your people, are going to come around. And to make this like the longest answer ever, that kind of ties into networking. When you're networking, you have to find your people. I think it can get easy to just like follow, and just try to build your network as quick as possible. But I don't really want to connect with everybody. Courtney, our team, like I laugh so hard all the time, because one of the first things that Courtney said when I was a newer coach about finding your people was, you want to find people that you would be down to share a hotel room with. And I'm like, that's true. Like, you've got to be friends with these people. And it's funny because thank God Courtney finds her people, because if I'm her person, people on her team are probably my people. And the first time I ever met our friend Melanie, another coach on Courtney's team, she was like coming down. I flew across the world from Germany to LA, and she was coming down the elevator in her pajamas to let me into our hotel room. Like, that was the first time I met this girl. So thank goodness I would want to spend a night in a hotel room with her. Same thing with Courtney. We picked her up from the airport and brought her back. So it's finding your people, because your people are going to want to hear what you have to say. And they're going to stick around and listen to your journey, because you have the same touch points. You have the same story, and certain parts of your story they need to hear. And there's nothing more powerful than that. So just being your authentic self, sharing every piece of the journey and every piece of who you are. And business builders are hard to find. Like, I sat on it. I sat on Emerald for almost a year. Like, I can't imagine how frustrated Courtney probably was. So don't get discouraged if you feel like you're not finding your business builders. because it does take time, and that's not, that's an extra step. That's an entire lifestyle overhaul for a lot of people. It was for me. And so you just need to keep showing them what's possible.
I love that. And Court said in the thing, and I think this is really shows, Kiley, who you are and why when you made that decision to go all in, you were able to attract builders. As Court said, I think having a clear destination, people want to join someone who know where they're going. So Kiley shared how she was going to use Beachbody as a vehicle to get where she planned to go. People wanted to be a part of that. And I could not agree more with that, because when I started, the reason why I was able to build my business fast was because I was so clear on where I was going, and I shared it over and over and over again. So all of the coaches that joined me in month 2, I had 16 new coaches enroll, and I had no success to speak of. I earned $70 my first month as a coach, but I was super clear that I was going to leave my full-time job by helping other people with fitness. And everyone knew that. I shared it on my social media. I shared it all the time. Like, I shared it behind the scenes. I shared it in every video I did. And I think that really makes the big difference of, like, how are you going to attract those people that want to build this? You have to be clear on where you're going, and are you sharing that on your social media? So, because as Court said that, I was like, oh, it's super clear where you're going. And I loved something else Cherie said. She was like, we're on the same team, and I feel like I'm just learning about you. But I think was so key, because our stories are also our superpower of, like, the reason we started is the reason why someone else is going to start with us, right? And you said you were working 2 jobs to pay off your wedding. And I was like, that's huge. I've never seen that in your stories before, and that needs to be told more, because I would have enrolled to be able to, like, I paid cash for my wedding because of coaching. And that's something that I didn't really ever touch on, because I was so new to sharing my story when I was paying for my wedding. But all those little things are so important to share when it comes to attracting builders. So I love that part. So where do you find people? How many people are you inviting? How do you get a new coach started right? I know that's a lot of questions.
That's okay. So I'm finding people, really the biggest way that I'm finding them is through large accounts that share a similar interest as me, that I have things in common with. Because just like Courtney's finding her people, so her people are my people, it's the same thing with larger accounts. So I'm going through, if they have a smaller following, like 15, 20,000 followers. Sometimes I'll go through their followers, but a lot of times I'm going through who's liking their photos, because they've been on Instagram recently, and commenting back on stuff like that. But really clicking through, and you'll see me at times, like, looking really close at my phone, trying to, like, see their profile picture if they're private and they don't have a lot in their bio. Again, just being intentional about those connections. Their bio tells a lot usually. If they're public, you guys probably know the like, comment, follow, message. I connect with every new follower. Another place that I'm finding people, I call it the Inception of Instagram. When you're going through and say there's this girl who's like, she would be perfect, and she hasn't responded to you, or coaching's not her thing, or, she's a boot camper and she will not coach with you. I'll go to her friends, because again, if she's perfect for this, she's probably friends with people who are perfect for this. So I'll go through her friends and find people, and then I'll stumble upon another girl that's perfect for this, and I'll go through her likes, and next thing you know, you're like 17 people deep, and you're like, what account did this start with? Just finding all of these connections, and that'll get you, like, all over the country, all over the map, these connections that you'll find with people. And then it's also spread out enough that it's not like, if you were to sign up one of these people, all of a sudden you're, like, following all of their people. It kind of takes you a little bit deeper into it. So that's my favorite way to find people. Again, for you guys, I always say I can't wait to move back to the States for certain opportunities, but I try not to look ahead and just try to flourish where I'm at right now. But, like, locations, that's a great thing, is finding people around you. What an easy way to connect with people. Like, oh my gosh, I saw that you're from my hometown too. That's so cool. So you utilize your locations, groups, stuff like that. But I will say, I don't really use hashtags to find people. I know that that's like a common one that people use. For the most part, if people are using hashtags and they're using them correctly, they're probably doing something similar to what we're doing. So my favorite is the large accounts and the Inception of Instagram, like mutual friends and stuff. And then what was the next question? I know that the final one was onboarding.
I forgot. Was it inviting? Does anyone remember what my second question was?
Yes, how many I'm inviting.
Mm-hmm.
It really changes. I kind of set myself at minimums, and then I'll kind of like write all over the paper if I'm finding more and having luck. First, I do want to say that there's not a magic number that's going to get you success. So what works for me right now might not work for you. So I don't want you to take this as like the holy grail of the exact number that you need to invite. At the end of the day, if you're inviting and you're not getting the results that you want, up your numbers. And if that's not working, check out the invites. But as of right this second, I am making 20 new connections with people a day. That's just a casual message to new followers, has nothing to do with inviting to any opportunity, just talking to people. And then I'm inviting at least 10 to 15 to the boot camp and 10 to 15 to coaching. So I think a lot of the time, and especially I start my new coaches this way too, I think people, their number that they set for themselves for coaching invites is lower than the bootcamp invites. And I will say that that's something that when I started pushing for Star Diamond, those numbers were even. They were even in the push group that I was in, and I've left them even because I want business builders and I want to be inviting to the coach opportunity. And if somebody says no to the coaching opportunity, that turns right into a bootcamp invite anyway. So that is how many I'm inviting right now. Again, that's not like a solid, you're gonna see success or not see success from those numbers. But then onboarding coaches, y'all, this is changing all the time. I feel like all of my tactics are changing all of the time, trying to find what works best for me. Because at the end of the day, it has to work. It has to work for you. It has to be effective for helping your coaches see success, but it has to work for you too. And that's something that I'm trying to figure out because I'm not an organized person tonight, for example. But right now, I have my team page on Facebook, and I kind of have the training. Christy, I think I got this idea from you, actually. I have the training like in the unit section. And so it used to be every month I would do a new Facebook group for the mentorship, and I'd kind of, put everything in order that way. I've transitioned to just putting it in the team page. That way I'm never going to turn somebody down for the opportunity. If I'm starting a coach mentorship on Monday and somebody comes in like 2 or 3 weeks and wants to start coaching, I'm not going to say wait until next month. So for me, having the new coach mentorship start in a separate page every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks was like scrambling my brain. I was not organized enough for that. So it's all in the team page. I send them an email saying like, hey, welcome. These are your first steps. Add me as a friend on Facebook, add yourself to this group, start here, unit 1. And then when they go to unit 1, it's going to walk them all the way through unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. And it just takes them all the way through all of our trainings, resources that I have, like down to my invite tracker, printable PDF, all of the important Beachbody coach office trainings, all that stuff is all in the Facebook page. And I say, okay, let's set up a one-on-one for after you finish all of these things. Because at the end of the day, if I'm setting up a one-on-one with you, when you're not done all the trainings, you're going to ask me a million questions that are in the trainings. So I try to get them through that. And then that way, it also kind of helps you define who's your sprinter and who's going to take this at their own pace. So it is kind of self-paced, and that girl that's sprinting right through it and sets up a one-on-one with you 2 days later, you can kind of get a gauge for where she's at with this business and where she's going to take it. And also, I feel like it's not overwhelming to people because you're saying, hey, here's everything that you need. Let me know when you're done with it, because I'm not your boss. I'm your mentor, and I'm here to support you, and I'm going to match your pace with this. So that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. And then all of my new boot campers, they are, just really just plugging their girls into my boot camp. And I let them do that for the first month or two. I never kick anybody out. Like, I have very veteran coaches in my boot camps as well. But especially when they're newer, I really want them focusing on getting the vitals down, inviting, all that stuff, not having to worry about putting together content for boot camps and that kind of stuff. So their first month or so is really training and getting down the vital behaviors and, hitting Emerald in the first 48 hours and them understanding, the importance of that, and a parent or spouse account, and talking about hitting Diamond in your first 30 days. And I'm hoping that the 2 girls that hit Diamond on my team recently that hit Diamond in their first 3 or 4 weeks are kind of like setting the pace for that. But that's what it looks like right now. Whatever that looks like for you, as long as it's organized and they get all the information that they need to get and it works for you and your schedule, that's what's going to be best for you.
Kiley, I swear you were on our Diamond and leader Zoom right before this, because that was a conversation we had, was like creating the culture that Diamond doesn't need to take 6 months. Diamond can happen in 30 days. And as you create that culture, then your team is coming into that culture and they're like, oh, okay, so Diamond's normal. Diamond happens in 30 days. It's not this long drawn out thing. And part of that is, right, like you said at the beginning, is like leading by example. You're going the way first. You definitely build a Diamond every single month. Like, you for sure add 8 new coaches and 2 new Emeralds to your team every single month. So it starts with us doing that so that we can show others that, like, yes, this is possible. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Love that. Awesome. Do you guys have any, or Anna had a question. She said, do you use an Instagram follow system, or is it all organic?
It's all organic.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any other questions? How much time per day do you devote to your business?
So I'm full-time now. Before I went to NLC in January, I put in my notice for my job because my income had doubled what I was making at my actual job. So it was time to, my husband told me it was time to cut the cord. He was like, okay, you're done. Like, you're coaching now. Which is really a blessing. Like, it wasn't like you're done. But so I'm full-time now. I've been full-time since February. And honest, like, there's a lot of days that I'm just nonstop. Like, my husband knows, especially during quals, like, what wife? Like, she's not here. My dog thinks that I live in this office. He comes and looks for me in here, even when I'm not in here. So there's a lot of really long days. But when I was working part-time, it was really focusing on those income producing activities. It was, trying to pull myself away from Canva and spending all of the time making these pretty graphics and, trying to recreate trainings that, coaches have already made for us, and really getting the vitals down of, I'm inviting consistently every single day. I'm following up with people. I'm posting. I'm committed to my journey, and I'm sharing that actively on social media. And I would say, even when I was working, it was at least 4 or 5 hours a day. And now it's 8+ a day. It's long.
And that's why you're going fast. Everyone can make the hours work for them, but I definitely think what you said, the income producing activities are most important. Because when I built this early on in my first year, I was working full time and training for an Ironman and building this part time on the side, and it was literally squeezing everything in. But it was all invites and follow-ups and posts to social media. Like, I didn't have time for anything pretty. And it was just doing those things as fast and as much as I possibly could, so I could get out of my job as fast as possible. So
yeah. And I think it really comes down to, like, how uncomfortable are you willing to get to be comfortable later? That's my thing. Like, I was willing to put in those 19-hour work days when I was working on a German time zone in Arizona and working at my Army unit and going to school full time. Like, I was I was willing to stay up and put in those extra hours when I was exhausted. And I was willing to tell friends, no, I can't go out with you. And, you know, I'm willing to tell my husband, no, tonight I really can't sit down and watch this TV show. And sometimes it's really hard, and sometimes it's uncomfortable and it's challenging, and you want to tell yourself it's not worth it and you deserve a break. And I will take a break when, you know, I'm successful, and, you know, this is going to be really worth it when I can take that time when we have kids and I can be home with our kids and, you know, not have to worry about it. But it comes down to allowing yourself to get uncomfortable and put in those long hours, because it doesn't come easily.
Are most of your invites cold or warm market?
No. As a new coach, yeah, I was doing cold invites. Like, they were always people who followed me. Like, I will never ever message somebody who, like, we're not connected in some way. But sometimes I'll stumble back across those messages and be like, oh, I burned that bridge. And that's why I try to keep up with every single day. The first thing that I'm doing is I'm going through people who followed me back and people who are following me, and I'm sending them a message that doesn't have anything to do with inviting them to anything, to at least warm it up. And hopefully those people respond. Not everybody does. And if a few weeks go by and you haven't responded to me and, like, I'm commenting on your stuff or whatever, but you're still following me, you're going to get an invite. And I don't consider that a cold invite, because I tried to be your friend. And you're following me for a reason. Like, I reached out to you, know who I am. But no, I don't straight off the bat invite people. But that has to be what works for you also, and what feels genuine and authentic to you. If it doesn't feel genuine and authentic to start a conversation with somebody, in those cases, I will just send them an invite if they're following me and I genuinely can't connect with them on anything or whatever, but they're following me and they're liking my stuff, I'll send them an invite, because it doesn't feel genuine to try to force a conversation. But I want to know the person a little bit, at least, or at least try to know the person before shooting them that invite.
I love it. All right. So do you guys have any other questions, or we can wrap it up? Awesome. Thank you so much, Kiley. I'm glad I love hearing your story. Something when people are telling their stories is I'm always writing down like similarities that are in my story. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't share about that. I need to share about that. So it always gives me ideas. Like, I forgot that I paid cash for my wedding. Like, I didn't have to go into debt. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should definitely share that. There's so many people have weddings coming up and would like to be able to pay cash for them. So
yes.
Thank you so much for taking time to share with us. And you guys, just one more recap: 5 gift cards, $50 each, 4 new coaches, 1 new Emerald by the 22nd of June. So June 1st to June 22nd. If you are the only person, then you get all 5 gift cards, $250. And if there are 2, then you each get half. Or if there are 5 of you, you'll each get 1. And if there are 10 of you, it will be a drawing. So just to give you guys an idea, reminder of that. The business activity tracker post will go up on Thursday. And congrats to Sharice. She got last week's drawing. So we're going to do a one-on-one Zoom, and we can talk through anything that she needs, go through her business. But if you guys post there, your coaches can post there. So that's a great thing, to post yours and then tag your coaches so they can see the work that you're doing. I think that's really important for people to understand that, like, it really is that, like, those are the things on the tracker that we're doing every day. And it really is that simple of growing in the process and doing those things to get until, just like Kiley said, she's like, I just knew that I was going to show up until it happened. When she said that, I wrote it down, because I was like, yeah, one of my visions is I want a team full of superstars on stage. I shared this at the beginning, but I really do. I want us to be like the team to be on in Beachbody. Like, there's no reason why we can't have 10, 15 superstar diamonds on stage. And I think a lot of times people just think of like their own personal business. I don't think that far or that big, but I know that's something that we all can accomplish together. So it all kind of starts with you guys, because you're pushing for diamond and 2-star and 5-star. And I know every single one of you can be a superstar diamond coach if that's your goal, because it is 15 builders, but that doesn't have to, like, when I got to Superstar Diamond, I had only ever helped 2 people each year get to Diamond. And then it was just that year, something clicked. I found all the right people, and 15 people went Diamond. 15 personally sponsored coaches went Diamond that year. So it really is focused on like knowing where you're going and being super clear on that and having that vision and sharing it on social media so people can be a part of that. And for a lot of you, I don't know that I've ever seen a post about why you're building this business. Like, where are you going with it? And I know that can be uncomfortable to share because you're not there yet, but that's the thing. If people know that you're clear on where you're going, they want to be a part of that too. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. We will have Superstar Diamond Coach Dara next week, and she actually took the same amount of time to get to Diamond that she took to get to Superstar. So I love her story because that just shows you like really working at it until it happens. Have a great rest of your Monday, guys. Thank you, Kiley, for your time.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Congrats on 5-star.
Thanks. Almost.
Almost there.